Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the engine, the heart of the project. We're going to be putting this twin-turbo V8 engine into my 2014 Audi A4. We've also manual swapped the car. This is a 6-speed manual transmission out of a 2014 Audi S4. Obviously that involves the pedals being replaced, the shifter being replaced, and the transmission being replaced. Along with that, we put a different drive shaft in the car and a different rear differential to match the gear ratios of the transmission, because this car is still all-wheel drive. One of the most common things that I seem to get from the naysayers is that the wiring and the electrical is going to be an absolute nightmare. All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to video number 3. Now, I just finished the last video, but I'm starting on video 3 because we are beginning what feels like the beginning of a marathon. Essentially, we're gonna start diving into the electrical and the wiring in this car. Now, a lot of you guys commented saying that that's gonna be a complete nightmare on this car, and you're probably not wrong, but I want to learn this and I'm excited to actually jump into it. That is not a lie. I am actually excited to jump into this. So let me show you kind of where I'm at. This is just gonna be like basically a bunch of small clips of me explaining what's going on and kind of where I'm at. It'll be over the span of like weeks, months maybe, like just depending on how long it takes me to actually like figure out and map the whole wiring system and then actually get this car wired correctly so that it can be programmed and coded and adapted and all that stuff. So let me show you where I'm at right now and kind of give you guys a quick update on that. Essentially, I am just taking one thing at a time and we are working that out. This is where things get complicated. Not only do I have to figure out how to manual swap the harness that's in this car already, but then I have to modify that modified harness to work with the 4OT. So this is what runs to the engine. And that is that red and white connector. And those basically communicate all of this stuff. So it's not like the most complicated thing in the world. Now, if you watch my first video, you'll notice I had a wiring harness that came with the manual swap stuff. I'm glad I got all this wiring harness because I probably am going to need this. Well, it's actually proving to come in really, really handy. There was on that wiring harness, this little sensor. This is my clutch position sensor. This is the backside of my clutch pedal, and I noticed these kind of notches. And after looking at it, I noticed it fits perfectly right in here, just like that. The wiring harness that I got from the manual car was basically this chunk of wiring right here. Over here at my toolbox, I've got that harness that came with it. Now, I pulled all the stuff off of this so I can start tracing wires. This is the only stuff that plugs into the ECU, by the way. That's like everything that the car needs to communicate with the engine is through these plugs. So this looks crazy. They just cut that off. That goes under the dash. I actually don't need like any of this. What I do need is this connector right here. This is the clutch position sensor. These 5 wires go under the dash. I need to get them soldered or pinned or wherever they go. I need to put them in place. So I've spent a better part of the day sitting in my office, reading wiring diagrams, figuring out exactly all the wiring. This is where we have ended up. I got a little carried away with a label maker. Basically, this is the harness out of the donor car, that S6, and this is where every single one of these wires go. So I labeled every single one. Now, this is all I need from the harness for the manual swap car. This is simply just my clutch position sensor. And then you can see right down here, I went ahead and just cut these harnesses because I want to splice all of these harnesses in and keep the original grommets, because I'm keeping the original box for the 4OT, so everything clips in right up here. ECU will latch in, everything will be good. So, all right guys, so it's been another day and I'm still kind of working out all these wires. Sometimes the colors match up, sometimes they don't. But what I'm doing is I'm going into the harnesses and I'm looking up, let's see, where is it? Right here, this T17A. That is one of these 2 connectors. So the chassis diagram is this one, and then this one is the other diagram. So for example, you can see there's an orange and a brown, and there's an orange and a black. And then if I go to this other wiring diagram, there's an orange and a brown and an orange and a black. Now, I'm double checking and looking at where these all end up. If I go into this harness and I find my orange and my orange and black, orange and brown. You can see here I have it labeled CAN bus J533. So I know that goes into the J533 module. Essentially, that's what I'm doing to verify that this orange and black wire and this orange and black wire go together, and then vice versa, this orange and brown and this orange and brown. This stuff is crazy. There's like this black tar stuff. It's really weird. It's like super sticky, but also you can take it off and just like roll it up with your fingers, and then it just like comes off. So it doesn't, it's like sticky, but it's also not sticky. I don't know, it's really weird. Anything that I don't know where it goes, like this, I have these just labeled and then pulled off to the side. So once I get everything that I do know goes together, then I can go back through these and retrace them all and see if I can figure out kind of which ones go where, what I can just ignore, and then what I need to add or anything like that. So I'm going to continue this for the next probably couple of days, just kind of here and there when I get time. But yeah, that's where we're at as far as wiring goes. Something super interesting, I'm looking at the C7S6 wiring diagram. And if you look at these blue wires, if you look into these connections right here, you see this little asterisk right here? Look at this. For vehicles with manual transmission, G476, that is your clutch position sensor. They actually have the wiring pinouts for the diagrams for manual transmissions for the C7S6. All right guys, update. We pretty much have everything soldered and all of the wires connected. I'm gonna go back through and just double check, because some of them match perfectly. Like this red and black wire goes to a red and black wire. They go to the same things. But then some of them are, you know, a little bit different. Like for instance, we have a gray and white wire going to a yellow wire. So I just need to double check and make sure that all of these are correct. There are a few on the chassis that are left over, and a couple on the 4OT that are left over. This one, this purple and yellow, is for engine sound. So if you didn't know, the S6s have artificial sounds played through the speaker system for the engine, and so you can hear the engine more. Basically just amplifies the sound. So the A4s don't have that, obviously, so that wire doesn't have a place. And then these two are the exhaust flaps for the tailpipe. So if you have a valved exhaust, that's what these are for. This car will not have that, so I don't need those. And those also are not in the chassis of the A4, obviously. Then on the A4, it is a flex fuel car. So I have flex fuel sensors in the fuel tank. Now, I would like to see if there's a way I can actually use these to add flex fuel down the road to my car without having to install a whole new system, just simply use what's already built into the car. I don't know if that's possible, but I might do a little bit of research if I get some free time and I'm curious. I might figure out how that works. The other one is this one. I had mixed feedback on what these were for. They're for like power steering for like some of these A4s. The older ones had hydraulic power steering. So these could also just be power steering or they could be CAN bus, honestly. Don't really know. I got this blue and this green wire. These are for the clutch position sensor. Right here, this is the blue wire, and it goes, one of them goes to the chassis, and then one of them goes to one of these pinouts on here. And then the green one goes to one of these pinouts as well. So I'm gonna go through and double check every single one of these and make sure that not only do they go to the right module, but they go to the right pin on that module, and that that pin on that module is like, say it's a switched ground, make sure, you know, it's the correct one, not just like a positive lead onto like what's supposed to be a switched ground lead. So anyways, I'm just gonna double check and make sure that all of these are actually correct. There is a plug on the back of here. I didn't get a piece of the harness for that, but I'm gonna have to find, either build one or find one that fits in that one, and then get the pinouts, get the wiring, and then run that one wherever that needs to go. One exciting thing that I did get is wheel spacers. So I'm gonna throw those on right now, and we're gonna get wheel spacers put on these things, because if you didn't watch the last video, our brakes barely fit in this car. So I need to space them out actually, and that's also gonna make these wheels sit flush with the exterior of the fenders. So if you're ever putting spacers on your car, it's always a good idea to get new bolts. These are pretty short. And so they only really, only like this much of it actually is holding your wheel on. So if you put a spacer on there, you know, you get down to not very much thread. So I'm not a fan of these being black, but there we go. That, you can see, gave me a lot more clearance. Also back here, it gave me, I mean, it's not much, so we should be good. Well, let me know in the comments what you guys think, but that's pretty good. Like, that's great. I definitely wouldn't want it any wider. If anything, slightly narrower, it looks pretty good. We'll see. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you guys think these are, if these are good. All right, guys. Well, it's the next morning, and as you can tell by my face, I am exhausted. But we are working on this car. I'm going out of town tomorrow, so I'm trying to get as much done as I can before we leave. We are getting all of our wiring for the clutch position sensor figured out. Basically, what we're doing here is we are tracking each of these wires and figuring out where they all end up. Essentially, as you can see right here, these end up in these different fuse panels. After tracking everything down, I have figured out what fuse panels they go into, and the first one would be ST1 SC2, which is my ABS control module, and that's basically just giving power to that module when I need it. And essentially that clutch position sensor, that wire needs power when this gets power. So that's what we're connecting to. And then same thing on fuse number 10. You can see clutch position sensor or your shift lock solenoid. So those things right there, and that's a 15, terminal 15, it's a 5 amp fuse. So how I'm doing that is I'm pulling the wire out of the back side of it like this. You can see this green wire right here, and then I'm just soldering my new wire to the back side of that connector. So then once this goes back in, the fuse goes into it. When this green wire gets power, this wire will also get power, and that should run everything. Now, this is all just pure experimental. All right, and there it is, all wired in. So technically we wired in this one right here, and then this one right there. So we just added 2 wires. I left the labels on there so I know which wires it is, but it's all integrated and it looks pretty much factory. This is the next wire I am working on. This here needs to go to my parking brake module. It's a 30 pin connector, and it needs to go to pin 25 on that module. So what I'm actually gonna do is the previous owner had a signal wire for a subwoofer controller, something like that. I'm just gonna use this wire to get to the back of the car so I don't have to run a whole new wire all the way through the car. And then back here, you can see this is my parking brake module. And inside of there, I went ahead and pinned this wire, which is just a long wire, into pin number 25 on this module. So now this wire needs to connect to that other purple wire, and that's gonna connect to that blue one that's going all the way through the car. So that blue one comes out right under here. I'm gonna run it up under the floor, and then it's gonna pop out right here and connect to this wire. We're gonna solder them up. So let me show you why I'm doing that. So if you look here, this is J540. This is our parking brake module. And this purple and gray wire comes from G476, or our clutch position sensor. And that goes up into pin number 25 on that 30 pin connector on this module. So that's what we're doing. We're just completing this bridge right here. If you look, the asterisk, only for vehicles equipped with manual transmission. So we are converting this automatic to a manual, which means that we need to get that connected and wired. Whether or not the module even knows what to do with that pin, I don't even know. I might have to buy a module, but we'll see. I'm gonna start with this and we'll just see kind of what happens. And the only thing left is just this brown wire, which literally just goes to a ground, and I'm just gonna hook it up right here. There's a bunch of grounds right there. So that's gonna be super simple. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just looking at diagrams and I'm completing the diagrams that I see. The wiring and the electrical is going to be an absolute nightmare. And let me tell you, it was not bad at all. So far, I am pretty sure I have the whole car wired up. All the wiring is done. My ECUs are currently in, I think, Indiana. They're being reprogrammed. So I have the old ECU and the new ECU. I sent those off to Ghost Tuning. They are reprogramming the ECUs so that the 4-liter ECU will talk to the B8.5 chassis. The engine actually is not ready to go in the car yet, so I gotta do some preparation work for that, and that's what we're gonna do right now. And then we are going to start installing this engine into the car. Anyways, that's that.